about Jacob Noah, who comes out of hiding after the war in 1955. And here, when he comes out of the peat bog after 3 years, like a mole in a hole after 3 years, almost black, no brown, like a fresh horse turd, he glistens in the May sun. When the sun shines on his skin, he gleams like horse shit, like a freshly polished sideboard. He walks half bent, if you want to call this walking, and the sun stings his eyes water with the sting of the sun in his eyes after 3 years. When he comes out of the peat bog and stands upright and sees the May clouds in the pale blue light and our houses along the Smilder Canal, the straight edge of the wood and leaden wall hiding something he knows all too well. And in his head is just one thought but wants to stay, one thought that knocks and bangs like a festering finger, one feeling that makes his heart contract, his fingers bend, but around one thing that he wants to hold tight onto and squeeze the juice out of it till the life disappears. God, one thought is revenge. He wants revenge. Revenge for everything. He wants to pull out the piece of rope that holds up his trousers, brush the earth to the side, and fuck the damned field of the damned farmers to avenge himself. Throw the first, the best, broad-bosomed, blonde peasant with a blushing face in a furrow, and while the face lies in the fat soil, the spittle runs from her mouth and mixes with the black earth, fuck her up the arse. He wants to ride fire starting and plundering through villages and fields, and like a vengeful black figure on a pale horse, reduce his land to ashes till nothing is left but pitch and sulphur, the blackened stumps of houses, the smoking foundations of farms, ash and dry fields, and swollen cadavers and purple corpses along the edge of the road. But that's not how it works. A fighter plane skims over, wings waving, the aria insignia, a haze of blue and white and red. A pig screams to the distance. Children in blue overalls fish in the black water. Dandelions stand yellow on the grassy verge. A workhorse trots neck bowed through a meadow. Just before noon, he steals a bicycle from behind the barn, and without looking round at the yelling farm labourers busy in the field, he pushes the pedals round, along the canal, towards town. He cycles. He cycles along the straight canal, his only souvenir, the years as a mole in a hole, banging against his leg in his jacket pocket. He cycles for the first time in 3 years. He cycles and the wind blows through his blurring curls and his eyes water, and his legs hurt, and he cycles, and he cycles, and he cycles. And as he approaches the town, half an hour later, he pulls on his brakes to look around for a moment, and the sunlight, faint, yellowy, far away, a balm for the hard lines of the landscape, washes over his face and into his eyes and through his hair, and in the distance where the dark water of the long canal disappears into the horizon, and then grey, then a blur, where he lived for 3 years like a mole in a hole, the bog, a worm in the earth, and for 3 years smelled earth, bog, peat, brown water, his God-forsaken soul. There, the highlight rises like a wall of summer blue, a cliché of prosperity and happiness and beautiful memories from when we were very, very young. The world was good. And the bile wells up on him. A bitterness wells up which, to his own surprise, makes him bend sideways to puke a silvery strand from his empty belly right next to his string-laced shoes, the glistening salamanders on the road surface. Never again. In the town, he cycles through a web of surprised glances. Flags hang from the windows. Orange pennants ripple in the mid-mild spring wind. Here and there, a half-torn poster flaps against the wall. The house and the shop come into view. And stillness falls around him. It is as if the air has been sucked away. The trees stop rustling, and the wooden tires of his bicycle stop rattling over the cobbles. There is no movement, as if he was cycling through a creek show.